dangerous. Hi everybody, Helena here and
Kelly here.
Yay, and we are Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors and coaches to build a business on your terms. I've just covered up my microphone. Oops. Oh well, never mind.
This didn't go right down your top. You're fishing it out.
Just going to ignore her and actually kind of go, obviously we're feeling quite playful. The door is open. If the dog runs after a fox or a cat, we make no apologies, but there may be mayhem. So we're just going to let you kind of arrive in the way that you do and say to those of you who are watching this not live, welcome to those of you who are watching live, obviously, but hashtag replay, please, because we like a little bit of hashtag replay. In fact, this morning I had quite a lot of fun. I was just looking through the messages and it was like, hashtag replay, 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 replay. Somebody was literally going through about 4 of them of an evening, like watching them back to back. So there was a lot of learning going on. And we would like to know the buzz in your business now that we've got a few of you on here. Hi, Tony. Very nice to see you. Hey, Haroon. The buzz in your business, for those of you who've never played this game, it is what is interesting, what's exciting, what's happening in your business, what just happened. Did you win an award? Did you publish a book? Have you got a launch coming up? What's happening in your business that is exciting and interesting? Do let us know. What's exciting for us? Yeah, put it in the comments and everything. What's exciting for us, the buzz in our business? How many people have we now got in the Connection Hub?
Oh, we're way over 4,000, but we reached our member milestone of 4,000 last week, so we're very, very pleased.
We really are, and we say this from a perspective of the Connection Hub really was a little dream of ours to set up a space where speakers, authors and coaches really can come, have the conversations, ask the questions, get the chance to share opportunities, to get opportunities, to ask those seemingly silly things about being in this weird and wacky business that is speaking, authoring and coaching, because it's quite a special kind of set of talents that we have and people. And actually, beyond our wildest dreams, we are connecting people with each other, people to resources, and you guys are just doing the work, and it is just brilliant. So if you haven't joined, I'm sure Kelly's by now put in the link and stuff.
I'm just doing it. I'm just sharing out to all the other groups first.
And that's completely allowed.
Putting the link in now.
It's completely allowed. And the other thing that's actually kind of a buzz in our business, for the speakers in the group specifically, and potentially for those who want to be as well, but certainly for the speakers in the group, Kelly is actually running an event in June, which is going to be amazing. I'm going to be on holiday, so I won't actually make it. And I'm kind of gutted because I'll be seeing some good friends who are doing some presentations. So if you are a speaker, I don't think you want to miss out on that. Do you want to say any more, or are you still...
I'll put some links in the comments for you to come along, and we've only got a few tickets left because it's an intimate event.
Yeah.
And Tony says he's made it to a live for the first time in months. So
hello and welcome.
To have you, Tony.
A little bit of, we will see how much value add we can actually put in here, just so that you can see, and obviously try and exceed expectations.
Of course.
Tony's podcast is a really, really good one. If you want to really wow your customers, I would definitely... just giving them a little plug there. So it's good. Anyway, I think by now we've got about 6 or 7 of you. You've had a little bit of time to actually come and join. So let's get cracking, because how to write a professional bio is something that we certainly in the membership get asked all the time. And the thing about it is it's really not a one size fits all. So let's talk a little bit about, and get your pens out. For those of you who haven't met us or who are new to us, definitely get pen and paper out, because this is a jam-packed...
We'll be giving you a structure to follow.
Yes, exactly, as always. And then let's see what actually shows up. Feel free to share kind of where you're at or your one-liners as they come up. So, why do you need to write a professional bio? Well, for a start, your bio is the first thing a lot of the time that actually gets you attention, but it's also the thing that keeps you attention. So you need to actually be able to present yourself well in the world and present what you're actually up to and who you are, so that people understand what you stand for, what you're working towards, what you're actually holding a space for, if that makes sense. It also just generates an interest in you. It actually makes them want to be with you more or read more. So depending on your bio, we really are talking about the written bio that makes them want to reach out or pick up the phone or go to the website in order to look at it a little bit more. So it is a prime piece of real estate in terms of how you show up, and it shows up in a lot of places, so you need to get it right. And we're going to say this, it may well take you some time to get it how you want it, and that's okay, but it is a constant work in progress. It isn't one of these kind of static website jobs where you just kind of put it on there and then forget about it, because you are a constantly evolving person. So your bio constantly evolves with you. Obviously, another reason why you want a decent bio is you want to get the gig. You want the money that comes on the back of it. Like, obviously, bio equals money isn't exactly a direct thing. There are a few bits in between, but reading your bio is the first step that someone actually takes to getting to know you. And once they've gotten to know you, being a speaker, author, or a coach who likes to stand out and builds business on their terms, you're kind of going to get the gig, aren't you? But that's part of your bio's job, is to actually get your foot in the door or keep them interested and excited about you. And small bugbear here. Your bio needs to set you up as the expert that you are, and it needs to be consistent across all the places where you use it. Now, back to what I said earlier, that doesn't actually mean it's the same thing across all of those, because different channels use different amounts of words, different ways of presenting it, but you need to have a base bio, if you like, that you can then write a professional bio for the actual channel that you're working with. Hopefully that makes sense to all of you. The key thing for me is... I'm having a fight with a fly. I'm so sorry. The joys of summer. I'm not unhappy. I'm very grateful to be sat in the sunshine. Well, in the heat anyway. So the thing about this is your bio really isn't a one size fits all, but it is something that you have intentions for. So for those of you who haven't done it, do a 4 intentions on your bio, particularly for each of the places that you are going to use it. It is, you use your bio in so many places. So I am just going to list some of those places, and it's not, there are probably more places, but the key places that you actually will use it is on your website, for sure. On your social media profiles, again, depending on the size or the channel, it's going to end up being different. So you are going to end up presenting it differently, even though you are the same person. You're going to need to use it for the speaking gigs, the introductions that they make to you as you walk on stage, the actual bios that people put on the blurb for the event that actually goes in there. For the authors around here, you're going to need to be using it on the back of the book jacket. You're going to be using it in your coaching and in your speaking brochures. So your bio needs to be professional, i.e. it needs to catch the eye, it needs to show who you are, but most importantly, it needs to be modifiable, and you need to actually take charge of that. So you've got a bit of work to do if you haven't actually looked at your bio for, in the last 3 weeks. Take a look at it again.
Last 3 years.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was trying to be kind. Right.
We've got a lot of buzz going on in the business. I know Andrea's got lots of buzz going on. We've just seen her new logo, so that's great.
Amazing.
Tony's just had a group book one of his workshops in Dublin.
That's fantastic.
So that's awesome. And I'm having a mare.
You are?
So for some reason, Facebook's decided to not allow me to comment on anything other than with my Stellar speaker profile. I've tried to change it millions of times. So I am commenting as my speaker agency today, not as Speaker Insight.
It's semi-appropriate. A professional bio will get your foot in the door to a speaking gig, so we'll just go with that for the fun of it.
So yeah, I'm not having a multi-personality
She's also annoyed because Facebook at the moment have stopped you pinning posts to the top.
Comments to the top, right? So it's awful. Facebook is not my friend at the moment. Anyway,
that's fine. I'm going to do some teaching now, and we'll just get her over that.
Okay, so as Helena said, you need your bio in different formats. And I know it's been like however many minutes we've been talking, and we haven't mentioned the word avatar. Which
I left it to you.
And that's because the reason why you need to have your bio in different formats is it depends on who is reading or watching it or hearing it. Okay, so it needs to be adaptable for the person to make it interesting for that person to read. We don't want it to be you just reading out your CV, which is so dull and boring. Yeah. We want it to be relevant to the person so they hear what they want to hear and it makes it relevant to them. Yeah. So these, I know Helena's mentioned some of these, but this is what you might decide to have your format in these, your bio in these formats. The first one, as we've already mentioned, is having a really short paragraph that introduces you when you're on stage. So many people forget this element. They get the speaking gig, they've done the whole what goes on the brochure for the event, and then they go, oh, how do you want to be introduced? And the person's got 30 seconds to tell that person, the best introduction. And this is actually what's going to set the whole, this is the first impression they get of you in the audience. And there are some people that, don't want key elements to be given away in the bio because that's their opening slide or their opening thing. So be really clear that you've got like a couple of sentences that really put the curiosity out there, the credibility. So if there's something you've got which you really want that person to blow your trumpet for you before you go on stage, put that in that short introductory bio.
And one of the key things about that is, have those printed, because you never know when a speaking opportunity is going to come up. So if you've got a little postcard size with size 16 font, of a here's how I'd best like to be introduced, I promise you, I know it sounds like a little bit of over preparation, but it is one of the best things that you can actually do, because it leaves the person who's introducing you really confident, and it means that they're not stumbling over what to say. As Kelly says, they're not stealing your limelight either. And the key thing about it is that it sets the tone for what you're actually going to do, right?
And if you are recording that speaking gig for part of your show reel, sometimes that introductory piece is a really great way to open up your show reel, because it introduces you as a speaker and it introduces that 3 to 6 minute show reel that we're about to do. So it's good to have that as a written piece.
That's actually a really nice challenge for people, is to write that little bio as if you wanted it recorded so you could use it on a show reel, because that would make a lot of sense.
And if the person who is introducing you is a rubbish speaker, then just send it to Fiverr and get someone to do it on there as a voiceover thing.
Exactly. And
anyway.
So keep going.
So the next thing you want to have your bio, and this is about the consistency we were talking about, is on your social media profiles. So on Facebook, you've got your little description. On Instagram, all those places, your LinkedIn, couple of lines. Yeah. Make sure that you're consistently saying the same thing. You won't have the same amount of character lengths on all those social media profiles. So that's the thing you're going to have to fiddle around with. Yeah. But you've got to think, what are the key elements, the key messages, the key words or categories that you want to be sought after and found of, so that you put them in all of your bios. Okay, so you've got to have a very short social media bio. If you're an author, then obviously your bio is going to contain things which is specific to the credibility of you being an author. So say, for example, you've hit bestseller status on the Sunday Times or an Amazon bestseller, you want that to be in your bio.
You really do.
You want to mention about if you've had a series of books published, or if you've had publishing deals with other publishers. So various different things for those credibilities. If you are a published author with a traditional publisher, make sure you include who your publisher is in there. Yeah. If you're not saying you're with Capstone or Wiley or whoever it might be, then a lot of people will assume that you're a self-published author. So actually it's that added credibility, not saying there's any better.
No, but there's a kudos that in people's minds.
So make sure you're saying all the things that you've done around how long you've been an author, how many books you've published, the status of your books, and all those types of things in an author bio. Yeah. In a speaker bio, again, you want to be highlighting the things of what stages would I have known that you've spoken on? Have you spoken with anyone that's really well known? Yeah. Are you an international speaker? Have you spoken abroad? All these types of things, again, to add that credibility and that kudos to you. And again, if you've written a coaching bio, then you want one that highlights your clients. Have you got any clients that you've worked with that you can actually publicly say that you've worked with, and you have their reputation
that are great examples, obviously.
They are your ideal clients, and they're people that we would have heard of. Have you won any awards? Have you got any accreditation, any associations you're part of? And specifically, and this is really with all of them, but definitely for coaching, your results. Okay? Massive. We need to say what type of results you get with your clients. So you probably will have a different, if you're a speaker, author and a coach, I would highly recommend you have 4 bios: a speaker one, an author one, a coach one, and then one which is all of them, right? Your full bio, which has all elements in there, because we don't know where we're going to use that one. It might be on your main website for all of your for your company's website. But that's the point there where we go, I'm making sure that if somebody's reading the back of my book, that they understand my credibility as an author. They probably don't want to hear about the stages I've spoken on, all that, because actually they just want to read my book. So let's make it relevant to the person that's reading or watching or listening to your bio, so that they actually have that oh, I understand why, I want to hear more, I want to book that speaker, I want to, find out more about that coaching.
Yeah.
So have them in different formats. Please date the saved file. So I've seen so many speakers where it's gone, oh, final version of my speaker bio. Make sure you save it with the date of what it is.
Yeah.
I think
So Andrea's got a question about credibility, but I can't quite read it.
I'll see. I think Facebook is definitely
it's playing up. So we're just refreshing, and I've seen your question, and we'll come back to it.
So make sure you're saving them all with what they are: they author, speaker, intro bio, full bio, and then the date, so that when you go back and refresh them and update them on a regular basis, you know which was the last version that you had.
Yeah.
Having final version does not help.
Yeah,
right?
Truly not. For those of you who are also, just a little note on that one, for those of you who speak regularly at a particular thing, so for example, I speak regularly at Authorcraft, I actually do a little blurb for it that is varied depending on what the name of the talk is that I'm actually doing, that I give to Chris, that he can then actually introduce me with. So it's just about ensuring that you can find at a heartbeat's notice the bio that you actually want to send, amend it slightly if you need to, and get it out there. Because of course, the quicker you turn around a proposal or saying yes to something, the easier it is for you to actually get that gig.
Yeah. So Andrea was just commenting on the fact that we're talking about avatar, obviously.
Oh, of course.
But Robert's asked the question, any tips when you're starting out re-credibility? I think one of the best things, Robert, you can do, and we covered this a couple of weeks ago, it's actually to get PR.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to get PR, and we did an interview with Rachel Taplin about how you can get this for free. So please go to the files section in the Connection Hub and look for how to get PR, that recorded training, because it's really easy to get featured in Huffington Post or a newspaper that's well known, and actually start saying as featured in your bios, because that's quite a quick win for credibility. And if you're early stage.
And with that, because you are in the Changemaker membership,
No, it's a different Robert.
Oh, it's a different Robert? Yeah. Oh, sorry. In which case,
ignore me.
Ignore me. Or when you do, go and have a look at module 2, which is all about your story, because of course the elements of your story are going to come in. So I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about that. Kelly just mentioned, sort of the key to kind of formatting is keywords. And so the thing about your bio is you need to bring you alive through your bio. So you need to use your story, you need to use your personality. They need to get a sense of your style through the bio. And, I don't know about you, but when I read something on the written page that actually kind of comes alive before me, that actually engages and entices me more. So that's really your job, right?
It's when you read something and then you see that speaker on stage, oh my God, they are just like they sound in their bio, their language, their style, the way that they come across. And if you are quirky or funny or
bring it out,
mysterious, then that's the style that your bio needs to be, because it needs to feel like you in words.
It's like a continuation. Yeah. It doesn't need to be a discordant thing. It needs to be an aligned thing. So here are some of the kind of top tips that we would actually have, and there are probably plenty more. So we'll do our best to kind of pinch it in this way. So the first things first, you've got to get their attention early. You've got to state who you are, because 9 times out of 10, do you want this is a really, really cool tip. It is an introduction when you're networking one, but it is also relevant on the page. My name is Helena Holrick. Now, why do I say that? Because actually,
no one says your name the right way.
I partly say that way. That is very, very true.
Everyone calls
Helena
you
the trainer.
Helena.
It's not Helena. It's Helena the trainer. But the point about this is that people actually miss your name the first time around. So your bio starts with your name. You've got to state who you are, even if it feels redundant. And then you've got to say who you serve. So you've got to actually kind of get that avatar attention in there with the keywords that they would resonate with, that categorize you, because that then allows you to actually be found via the Google kind of bots, but also it allows people who might be your avatar to resonate with you. Or if you've got a booking speaker that's actually looking at your bio, they will go, yes, that is the audience I'm looking for. And you've got to actually say who you are so that they remember that. It might sound like a teaching you to suck eggs, but truly people miss it off. The second thing is be really brief and to the point. You have to kind of go over it time and time again. You need to proofread your bio over and over because every word needs to earn the right to be there. Because one word gets you to the next word, gets you to the next word. Don't fluff. No fluff, please.
We don't really want, we'll talk about lengths, but really you want this to be a concise document that people can inhale and get to the point.
It's not a life history.
It's not War and Peace.
Truly, it's not. That's what your blogs are for, that's what the experiences are for, etc. This bio is a short, sharp snapshot of you. That's very hard to say.
Well done.
Wow. I didn't rehearse it or anything. It just came out, but I couldn't probably do it again. But this snapshot of you needs to be instantly, as Kelly says, inhalable, so that they get a sense of who you are and why they might use you and who you serve. The other thing is take a look at, all of you, sort of across here are in different industries. So what is your industry standard? Go and actually have a look at, do your research. If you are a speaker, what are the speaker one sheets that actually appeal to you? And using the style that Kelly was talking about, if you're mysterious, how do you develop your speaker one sheet versus how someone else who is really funny, but accountanty, not thinking of anybody in particular. We had a conversation with someone earlier on in the week that is like that.
Who's a funny accountant?
He's a funny accountant.
They're a rare breed.
Go figure. And they're funny. So, it's this. How do you actually do it? For an author, really, you're looking at succinctly stating yourself between 75 and 150 words. That's a really nice challenge for all of you watching.
That's the average length of a back of a book blurb. See, we're doing the...
Well done. Good God, it's like tongue twisters with Helena and Kelly. It's like, way. Must be because we're talking about words. Which is good. So the other thing is sort of like, whilst we're saying short and succinct, you still need to have your story in there because your story is part of what gets the attention. So how did you get to where you are? Building the credibility, as Kelly said before, around who have you worked with, what results have you actually created, tracking all of that, and then pulling out the relevant pieces for the relevant bios is really important. Be informative, be intriguing, and most of all, don't be superfluous. Like this is red pen time. Do it once, do the draft, put all the blurb on there, and then cut out half of it. I promise. Yeah. The final thing for me around your bio, and this is vital, we did a really nice Facebook Live with Amanda Clark around photography. And it might be worth, there we go. So it might be worth you going and having a look at that because you've got to bring yourself alive with really professional photos. None of these kind of holiday snaps in the bio. It's visual elements, right?
Always have that profile picture in there so they can actually, again, it helps bring to life, brings that personality through. But if you've got a speaker bio, then have a picture of you in action on stage speaking, right? So they can see how you're dressed. Yeah. Some people are like, we've had this story before where people just like, I'm not going to allow someone on my stage if they're wearing trainers. And that was the Gary Vee story where he turned down hundreds of thousands of pounds because he was like, no, I'm wearing trainers. So I don't do your gig or I do your gig. And,
but I do it in trainers.
But we really get that understanding if you use props, if you have those things. If you've got pictures of your book, then have your book in the bio so you can see the bestseller status or book signings and things. Bring it to life is what we're saying.
Yeah,
right?
and give visual proof in some way because people will take that image and go, that might be what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So this is the bit where we want to write down a formula for you. When you come to the Speaker Insight Retreat, we do bios in depth, but this is the formula that we basically help you work throughout the time that you're there as one of your things that you walk away with. So write this down. There's about 6 or 7 points that I want you to always include, and this is in your full bio, right? Yes. So whether it's a speaker, author, coach, or the combined one, this isn't the short intro on stage or your social media ones, but this is what we like you to contain in all of your bios. Yeah. The first thing is people get asked this question a lot is what tense should I write in? And the preferred tense is your third person. Yeah. It's always the best to actually be writing about yourself in the third person. Purely because it's a lot easier for the person who's reading it to take that in. And also you can talk about tense. And if somebody is going to introduce you or take an excerpt from that, whether that's a PR person, they don't have to change the tenses around. No. So it's really easy to transfer the information which you've got written in your bio into another format or even take a bit to introduce you onto stage. Yeah. So that's the first bit we like to say is write in the third person. when you've received something, so say for example you're using this bio in a proposal, you've sent it to a speaker agent or whatever it might be, book proposal, you've got to grab the attention, right? It's like having a job application where they're having thousands and thousands in. How are you going to make it stand out?
Totally.
So the first thing I would always say is that top section, a bit like a website above the fold, that's the bit where you've just got to wow them, get their curiosity and intrigue them some way. So you can start your bio off with a really hard-hitting quote. Or maybe your tagline of what you're known for, or something eye-catching, something that you claim to be. So one of the speakers I manage called Steve Sims, his top of his speaker bio is Forbes calls him the real life Wizard of Oz.
Hello.
Right? So you're like, first of all, credibility, Forbes is quoting him. 2, what's the real life Wizard of Oz? What does he do?
What does that mean?
Right? And he is a real life, he's a magician.
Truly, really, truly.
But he makes magic work. So that's the type of thing, you can have that plastered because that's going to stand out more than, Joe Blogg's leadership trainer, right? And you and million other people.
That's right. You
so
just
have
go,
something that really captures their attention of intrigue that's different, that makes you instantly stand out. Then you want to do as quickly as you can. The third point is outline your name, your company, what you do, what you're known for. So you actually have to state your category of what you write books in, what you speak about, what you coach in. And so that basically then goes, I'm not looking for an inspirational speaker, or I'm not looking for a fiction writer, I'm looking for this. So that person can instantly go no and not read anymore.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No. It's that filtering process. So you're basically
help them filter.
Yeah, every time people are reading down the next paragraph of your bio, you want them to be going, yep, right, and then they get to the end, they're like, this is the perfect person. Okay, so you have to state early who you are. You can put any qualifications and letters and stuff up after your name if that's important. It's highlighting your achievements
if that's important to them.
Yeah, to them. Always about the avatar.
Not to you.
Yeah, if you got your gold swimming badge when you were 9, it's not probably the place to put it.
Hopefully
in your
you're all
speaker.
Smart enough to not put that one in there, but you get it.
But that's what we're saying, right? It has to this is always about the avatar, which was the point before. What are they wanting to hear or read? So outline it, but also say what are you known for in the industry? What's your achievements, accomplishments, and awards? I know that's what you talk about. But just have that, and not as a list, just as a snapshot. This is something which I think a lot of people miss out of their bio, and this for me really brings it to life. And this is where I want you to state quite succinctly your passion, your purpose, and your why, right? This is what we teach all the time in Speaker Insight, is you are the heart of your business. We need to know that you're doing this to know who you're going to serve, but what's the impact and difference you're going to make, and why do you really give a shit about the topic you write, speak, or coach about? Okay,
it's true.
It's true.
It's
right?
true. No. I'm loving it, and this is exactly it. Sort of like you want to highlight absolutely with passion what the cause is, what got you there, what actually kind of can you help them do. So you kind of share your imagination of what is possible.
Like Winston's one of my speakers who I manage, and basically he wants to touch 1 million lives, right? And so he's in a wheelchair, he's got a brittle bone disease. If he moves, he'll break a bone. So his whole thing is get out of your limitation. I want to start making 1 million people live without limits. So then that's his big mission, and he's got the why. That needs to be in there, right? Because he got shut down all of his early life. So I want you to tap into, yes, I might be a leadership coach, but why? And why is it really important that this time? And what are you doing that no other leadership coach is doing? And what's the difference that it makes?
Yeah, completely.
So that's the thing that I think a lot of people forget, that big picture, that story, that, make you feel that you're bigger than what you are, and it's not just all about you.
And for those of you who are watching in the UK who are feeling terribly British about this, get over your big bad self. Like seriously, this is the time to big yourself up, not in a highfalutin kind of way, but absolutely to ensure that people know and understand why you are a good choice for them.
And I think that's, you do give yourself permission to say that when you're talking about a bigger vision or purpose or mission that's bigger than you. Because it's not just all about me. It's I want to achieve this, and I know that this is going to make a massive difference in my industry if people come on board read this or whatever. So please make sure there's something in there about your passion, your purpose, and your why. Also, this is the bit which makes you unique. How do you work? Okay, it's really important to put in here your style. So the style of presentation, the style of writing, the style of coaching, because we want you to be Marmite.
We do.
We want people to like be turned off or turned on by you, because then at least they're making a decision to choose you for a reason.
Yeah.
But you need to pre-warn people this, right? If you're doing a speaker bio and say, for example, you might use flamboyant language, you need to say that in your
polite.
bio.
I love that.
Then you need to say that, because you know you're not going to get hired in schools and things if you're going to. So, and also if the fact that you are quite casual or you do something in a unique way, as I think we've mentioned before, there are some speakers that bring magic on stage and that's their style to illustrate their point. These things need to be in there so it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
And also it's probably a reason why they will book you.
Yeah.
It's also a great place if you're a coach that maybe you have your own intellectual property. Maybe you have your own framework, a process that you take people through, which is unique to you.
Yeah.
Don't describe how many steps it is and what you do at each stage, but name the process, the trademark of what you've probably called it, and what that person does and what results they get at the end of it. So all these ways that they work with you, the styles, the methodologies, the uniqueness about you, tell them in the bio so that they actually can make a decision around that.
Yeah. So there's a couple of comments come in, one from Sudha, one from Helen. My eyes aren't reaching as far as that because the whole thing is like, I can't read it over here, so it's all good. But I want to make sure we honour you. And I think there was a question in there. So I think there's a lot to be said for you ensuring that people get a real feel for who you are and how it works. Is it Helen's comment about flapping her arms?
She may need to mention that she talks fast and flails her arms around a lot.
Completely.
So that's not something I talk ridiculous. We both do talk quite fast.
No.
That is a style, but it's not so much a style that I'd have to warn people about.
Yeah.
Even though it might be something you get known for, Helen. Like if you look at anyone that's worked with John Demartini.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he's like us on steroids. So
I'm going to see him tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh. So therefore, it's what you might get known for, but that's the speed isn't something I would put in there. It's more if something's going to turn them off or turn them on in making a decision to book you.
Yeah.
Sudha's passionate about 3 things: tech, women, empowerment, and youth leadership. Okay.
And she's then got a question: how do I incorporate that?
So then it's talking about your story. So when Helena was talking about it before, about, you know, tracing your story, why do you care so much about those 3 things? How has those common themes developed in your own life?
Yeah.
Why have they become important? And then going back to what I said about your why, what does it look like for those people once you've helped women empowerment, youth leadership with tech?
Yeah.
You know, what does it look like for you? What's the picture you want to paint to your
what's
avatar?
the end result that they might achieve if they choose you in that way?
So,
I
haven't finished.
I know. I'm aware that Andrea's talking about being a gobby northern bird, so I just thought I'd get that in there.
Oh, it's gone off my comments.
It's fine.
One. So we've got so far, this is the structure of the bio. Write in the third person. Start with something that's going to be like, you know, eye-catching, a quote, a statement, something about you.
Yeah.
Outline your name, what you do, your area of expertise, your topic, etc. State your passion, purpose, and why.
Yeah.
Then outline how you work, your style, your IP, your methodology.
Yeah.
Then the last 3 points, this is so important.
Vital.
The biggest thing that I probably see that most speakers, authors and coaches never put in their bio. Results. Okay? I want to know what's the common results that your books, your speaking or your coaching gets for people.
Yeah.
Why should I take the time to read your book? Come and explore you as a speaker, you know, book an exploratory session as a coach. What is it that you're going to give me that I'm really hungry for?
Yeah.
And remember, as Helena said, this is for your avatar. So if you're talking about the booker for a speaker, you're not talking about the people in the audience as such. You're talking about the HR consultant, the L&D, the CEO, whoever it is that's booking you, of how that's going to make an impact on their corporation. Yeah. As a byproduct of helping the people in the audience.
Completely.
So that's the result we need to look at. If I came and spoke at your event, I'm going to increase your productivity or effectiveness by 30% in 3 months. Yeah. Because my keynote and my follow-up workshop's going to do this.
Yes, so please, I'll have some of that.
We need tangible results. Of course, we're going to have this book is going to make you feel really inspired to change your life, or this keynote's going to do this. But that doesn't show ROI for me. Yeah. It doesn't show oh, I'm going to spend $12.99 on this book and that's going to be worth my time and my money, or I'm going to spend 10 grand on a keynote and that's going to get me my ROI back in my corporation.
Yeah.
I need to know the results.
And here's the thing, because I'm going to preempt the question that's going to come up at some point, whether it's live or replayed. So what if I haven't got results? Because that's bound to come up. So here's the thing. So you do what it takes to get a result, even if that is you do some of the coaching that you do with someone so that you have some testimonials. You start to work the process so that you can, it feels a bit chicken and egg, but seriously, you just go, okay, what else is possible for me to actually prove a result that I've got? Because I know this is possible. Exactly.
Send galley copies of your book out before it's printed, so you've got those endorsements and testimonials to put in the book or on the front of the book. These are all things you need to do to prove your worth before it's there. And when you are established, then start averaging your results. Right? Start saying the average client comes and works with me, gets this. Right? Emotional, tangible, physical, and ROI. We want all different types of proof.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And then the last thing is, as what you always do, is end with some form of call to action. Not a book here, click here, but just more of a line of why do they need to book you as a speaker, an author, or a coach? Why do they need to take the next step with you? What's the difference that you're promising to make for them? And just leave that as an intrigue line for them to actually think, okay, now I've got the whole picture. That's that little bit to tip them over the edge.
It's like the rhetorical question, the tiny little challenge that you might actually put in there that allows them to go, I'm still thinking about that. I read that 2 hours ago and I'm still thinking about that.
Like one of my speakers says, I think the last line, in a world that's speeding up, you don't have the choice to slow down, right? So therefore, and that's about talking about leadership and making change. So something like that sort of like just goes, actually it is moving quite fast and we are like losing our credibility and we're becoming a traditional old company. So that's the type of thing I would like you to do.
So it kind of gets under the surface of things. Well, whilst you're refreshing, so we of course have a little call to action for you. So some things to remember, because we've said quite a lot. This is probably a re-listen for a lot of you, because we go fast. I was going to say about this earlier on. We actually do have a joint bio for when we show up together. So if you have got partnerships or collaborations where you are showing up together or you are regularly working with somebody, make sure that you've actually gotten together and have a bio that reflects both of those things. That's also really important, isn't it? Key things for you. With your bio, once you've written it, don't keep it to yourself. Get some feedback before you actually put it out there. Like, seriously, because you reading about you, you're either going to be really shy or really arrogant or not hit the mark in between. So, let someone else read it over for you. Get feedback, because it takes time. I said this right at the beginning. It takes time to get your bio right, and it's testing and measuring all of the time. So remember to kind of update it on a regular basis. We would recommend that you actively in your diary put a quarterly check on the bio, because in that time you'll have done so many more things that you'll need to actually update them. The other thing is, either get a copywriter to help you or certainly get a proofreader of some kind. Again, you've done one version of it, give it to somebody else to look it over, because they'll miss, you'll miss things that they'll just pick up, right? And so Kelly sort of alluded to this earlier on. So triple A's, so your awards, your achievements and accomplishments, and the accolades. So three things there. The recognition from the industry. Have you got any awards that might actually be seen and that you can borrow credibility from?
We're asking you to keep a note of these things.
Totally.
So have a Google Doc or something open, so that when what Helena's going to go through, you're making a note of these. Yeah. Because you might not put them all in your bio, but they might be relevant
ones.
Yeah. And you forget about stuff.
You really do. Oh my God, we did the. Don't you just, Kelly, Tyler?
Yes.
Right. Anyway, private moment. So the second thing is your achievements or your accomplishments. So your achievements are kind of those provable results that we've been talking about. Your accomplishments might not be 100% provable, but they are definitely milestones that you've reached in a business that people would see and want to emulate in that way. And then the final thing are the accolades. So achievements are the actual tangible results that come in, and the accolades are actually things that people say about you. So the testimonials, the case studies, those types of things, the press that might have given you a nod, or Richard Branson saying you're awesome, or something along those lines. I wish. At some point, who knows? But, you know, in that way that you've got the awards, the industry standards that recognize you, the achievements, the results that you actually get, and the accolades, the things that other people say about you. All of those things in a document will help you pick and choose for the right bio, for the right proposal, job, thing that you're actually using your bio in. Because as we said earlier, it gets used in a lot of different places.
Yeah. So Robert's just asking, can he use this group to get feedback? So of course you can put anything in the Connection Hub, Robert. Just put the hashtag #CuriousQ&A any day of the week and put your bio in and ask us and the group to give you some feedback on your bio. And that's a great way to actually see how it's landing with potential, if we are your avatar,
that's right.
Then you can get it from the right person. But it is always good to get it from your avatar, right?
And so you may actually, as you write that curious Q&A, you may actually want to just state 1 or 2 lines about who your avatar is and do we think this would actually land
is
for
it
you?
A speaking
Great
bio,
question. Good
an
on
author
you.
bio, a coach bio, and who would you speak for example?
Give us as much information as possible and pop it in there. And I'm sure that some of the souls in the group will absolutely give you some juicy feedback, which is good. Good on you for asking.
Sudha basically says that she looks like most people think she's going to jump off the stage because she flaps her hands like a bird so much, looks like she's taking flight. That stuff can stay out of your bio, darling.
Yeah. Let's do that. But it's an entertaining picture and I quite like it. And we can help you with that. Which is really good. So here is your call to action. Off you go out into the world. Thank you for spending lunch with us. Look at the example. So one of the articles that I really, really loved, which sparked this, was a HubSpot article that, sign up for it. It's well worth signing up for. You can always unsubscribe to all the other emails that they actually do. But this particular thing gives you 40 different templates and word structures that you can actually use. And I just even using their first example of Anne Handley, it's absolutely brilliant to look at how they've taken 3 different versions of the bios in a social way. And you can see it's still the same person, but the bio is entirely tailored for the audience and the type of reader or watcher that is actually in there. So please do that.
I'm just going to butt in as well. Andrea is saying, so question, what sort of person do we need to help us get this right? So Andrea, you're in Changemaker Central, so just tag Alison Porter, who is our amazing copywriter.
She's incredible.
She gets the industry like the back of her hand. And she'll look over stuff for you. You'll probably see her do a lot of reviews and Feedback Friday in the group. But you really, ideally, what all of you want is a copywriter, okay? Somebody who understands, not so much a sales copywriter, because again, if you've got somebody who's not, it's in your style. So if you're a British person and you've gone for an American copywriter, the clash might be there, right? So ideally what you want is a copywriter. But I would always say, write it first in what we've done. And then give it to them to refine and make so much better.
Absolutely.
Because they've got some, and that's Alison's preferred way of working anyway.
Completely.
I might just tag her in this post.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's probably the way to go. And so, of course, you're in the membership, so you'll have direct access to her. But if we tag her here, then everybody else can actually kind of, get to her as well, sharing resources and all of that, which is really rather good. So, on that note, I think we're probably done. You've got a lot of work to do again.
Yeah, and put your bios in the hub. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. If you want us to look at them, then please do join the Connection Hub and put them as curious Q&As.
Yeah, which is really good. And if you get a chance, well, given that Kelly's wearing her Stellar Speakers hat, if you get a chance, sort of like if the event appeals, did you put
I
link
didn't put
to
the event in, no, because I was too busy.
Honestly, it's going to be a really good one, and I am slightly secretly gutted.
Oh, so this is the link to the event. If you want help writing your show reel, creating your show reel, and also learning how to tell stories in your speaking style, then check out the event I've just shoved in the comments.
Brilliant. But before that, get your bio written.
Yeah.
Right, on that note, I'm going to hit the finish button.
Enjoy the sunshine, everybody.
Yay.